What makes a warm home? Entry 17, apartment. Roughly 1.5 to 2 years after college, I finally moved out of my parents' house. At this point, I needed my own space, and it was time for me to get out of my parents' house. There wasn't any animosity in our relationship, but getting some privacy and freedom in my own life started becoming very important to me if I was ever going to start a career, find a spouse, and find my own way in life. My income was low enough that finding a place that I could sustain on my own was challenging. I had been searching for a few weeks and was finding that an apartment in a large complex was out of the question. I moved on to seeing if I could find someone who was renting out an extra room, a duplex, or space above their garage, a place that I could call my own. After a weekend of looking at people's spare rooms and various living arrangements, I felt like I had found something acceptable, but was a little disheartened in knowing where I was going to be living for the next year or two. I got to work that Monday and was relaying what I had found to a few coworkers who were encouraging and sympathetic to my cause. I'll never forget what happened in the next few days. That morning, I walked into the office of our purchasing manager. Her name was Terry. One thing that you need to know about Terry is that she has a tendency to tune you out if she is talking. It can make conversation with her a little bit frustrating at times, but at the same time, she is one of the sweetest people I've ever met. She, along with a few other ladies that I was working with at the time, became a little bit like work moms for me, helping me and providing some therapy when I was frustrated or going through something challenging. On this particular morning, Terry was a freight train. I told her what I was going through and the reality of the results of the search that I had done that weekend. And about three-quarters of the way through it, she had an idea and interrupted me. She then proceeded to tell me that she had a friend who manages a few smaller eight-family apartment buildings and that she might have an opening in one of them. While she was saying this, I was trying to get a word in, telling her that I had already found a place that I was okay with. But with Terry, there was no getting through to her once she was on a roll. In this case, I'm very thankful she was. About 30 minutes later, Terry came by my desk and gave me a scrap of paper with the name Cheryl written on it, with a phone number, and told me to give her a call. That she had a unit open that she hadn't even listed yet online. At this point, I was a little annoyed, and yet Terry had gone to all the trouble to reach out to Cheryl, so I figured the least I could do was go and look at the place, especially because it was within my price range. That night, I showed up at the apartment. I walked in, took one look around, and knew instantly that this was the apartment I had been looking for. Not only could I afford it, but it was also my own place that I didn't have to share with anyone else, and it was in a reasonably good part of town. I signed the paperwork to apply for it, and the next day went into Terry's office to thank her for her effort and help. When I got back to my desk, I told one of my other coworkers, Marcia, about what had happened and how excited I was to finally be moving into my own place. During that conversation, another coworker, Amy, overheard me talking about the new place. Come to find out, she was moving about 2 weeks before I would be and was moving in with her boyfriend. As we all know, when two people move in together, rarely is there not a significant purge of furniture and other random stuff. She told me that he had nicer stuff, and so she was getting rid of a living room's worth of furniture and a variety of other things, and anything that I wanted to have was mine if I could haul it off for her. Then she proceeded to almost fill my new place with a couch, a recliner, coffee table, chairs, a bookshelf, and a kitchen cabinet. In the course of 2 days, I went from not having a place and being rather disappointed in how my first place was going to look, to having a place of my own that was almost fully furnished. With a few other small purchases, I was able to finish off my furniture needs. I will never forget those 2 days. There are a few times in my life that I can sincerely point to that God's hand was at work. This was one of them. The timing of his grace in this situation, pouring out blessings when I was on the verge of making a decision that I think I likely would have regretted, still amazes me to this day. Start creating your warm home. Visit etsy.com/shop/warm home candles co. If you enjoy this audio journal, I would appreciate it if you hit subscribe or left a review. I will be publishing a new audio journal every week on Wednesday at noon on YouTube and Spotify. You can also find Warm Home brands and candles on Facebook and Instagram. And lastly, remember, a warm home isn't about the things in your home, but about the people who live there and the grace and peace God gives them every day. Thanks for listening.